Hi everybody, it is Ms. Brody coming to you with a writing workshop lesson, and I am really excited about this lesson. First, I want to tell you sort of a little story. I want to tell you about how I usually get in the ocean or a pool. I do the very slow approach, which is I dip my toe in until that sort of gets a little bit warmer, and I slowly move my body in until it kind of warms up. I hate get it being cold in the water, so it takes me a really long time to just get in to either the ocean or the pool. Other people do it a really different way. I've seen people at the beach and they just go running down the sand and they leap into the ocean, and I'm always a little bit jealous about those people. Or the people that just do a cannonball off the side of the pool and jump right in, no matter how cold the water is. Well, today in writing workshop, we're going to do the cannonball approach that even someone like me can't just tiptoe around it when we start this lesson. We just have to dive right in and jump right in. And what we're jumping into is drafting. Okay, like I said, today we're just kind of gonna get ready, get set, and draft. Okay, what does that really look like though? Let's see. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. So again, just like we did yesterday, we want to think a little bit with the end in sight. And we should know that what kind of writing we're doing. With this writing, what's it going to be? Well, we learned yesterday that we're writing an informational book. Basically, we're writing an all-about book. And so before we sort of jump right in, we do want to kind of wait just a little bit and think about all we know about informational writing. And we're going to even narrow it down a little bit more because informational writing can look different depending on the genre. We're writing specifically as historians. And what matters most to historians, okay? That's a little bit different than if you were writing a report, let's say an all-about book about an animal. But we're writing about history. Okay, I'm going to read you a little sample from a text about what historians do. You can read along sort of while I read out loud to you. Historians use artifacts, official documents, and other evidence as sources to study the past. The job of the historian is to interpret past events and to think about the causes of these events. This information can help us understand our predecessors and perhaps help us solve current problems or avoid problems in the future. Wow, that's a pretty big job for a historian to really help us almost avoid problems in the future. Okay, before we jump right in, we're going to stop and think. What do we plan to write, and what sort of tips do we have? What tips do we have that we might share with each other about how we can make this writing go really well? So again, if you imagine that you are at school right now, your teacher would probably be creating a chart and would be asking you to come up with some ideas about what types of things might we be thinking about as we start drafting today in terms of writing informational writing. So I want you to think about what you would say if I was asking you in class. Well, I'll bet somebody would say, we need to show what the past was like, right? Somebody else might say, well, it's really important that we teach other people. We're trying to teach them about the past. We also want to say that we want to group information into sections. Someone might have added that we want to make sure that we're using specific names and dates and places to help our history book come alive. And we definitely want to make sure our information is accurate. We're not guessing. It has to be really true. And finally, one final thing we might think about is we need to write introductions and conclusions. This is just a short list. There's probably other tips and tricks you might be thinking about, but these are some that might jump out right away. Okay, so basically yesterday, you were supposed to have organized yourself to come up with two ways to write your all about book. Choice one was an all about westward expansion in general. And that was where you filled in this graphic organizer with your different subtopics. And I had gotten you started with Lewis and Clark and the Oregon Trail, and maybe the Transcontinental Railroad, this All About book would continue on with a few more subtopics, and you'd be writing sections about each of them. Choice two is if you picked a subtopic, right? Maybe you zoomed in and you said, I just want to write about Lewis and Clark. And so you filled out this part of the graphic organizer. Or maybe you say, I just want to write about the Oregon Trail and all those subtopics about the wagon trains or the conflicts with Native Americans or what life was like on the trail or the different trails that they took. You would have then filled out a different organizer web yesterday. So again, you have your two choices of what you worked on yesterday, but today you have to make that decision. Today you're going to choose whether you're going to write an all about book, all about westward expansion in general, or you're going to zoom in and write about one of your subtopics. So I want you to think right now, pause the video for a second and really make that decision. You might want to go back to your notes from yesterday and say, which one of these was easier for you to fill out? Was it easy for you to come up with the subtopics all about westward expansion? If it was, then you might think that might be a good choice because you know a lot about different subtopics. If you sort of slowed down and it was hard for you to fill in these boxes, either about Lewis and Clark or a different subtopic, then maybe that's not the right choice for you. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to think. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully now you've chosen choice 1 or 2 and you're already organized. You already have a lot of your subtopics. So what comes next? Well, first things you want to do is you're going to gather your supplies. And what supplies am I talking about? Well, your supplies are all the notes, all those Google Docs that you've been taking notes on for the past couple weeks. And your teacher has, if you submitted them, they've returned them to you. So they should be in your Google Drive somewhere. Maybe it's under the, writing to learn or note-taking doc or whatever it was. If you also took notes in a notebook, then you should gather that as well. And you might want to gather some more paper and pencil in case you want to take some more notes as you're getting going. But those are the supplies that I'm talking about, are the notes that you've already taken. Okay. The other thing you want to do is you really need to figure out what information you have by looking through those notes. And then you need to start thinking about what do you maybe need more of. And that might become more apparent once you actually start drafting. You might not really know what you don't know until you start writing, okay? But that's something that's hopefully going to be happening in the next day or two. And let's take a look. Before we jump in, before I send you off to actually jump right into the water, let's look at a sample. Again, with that end in mind, to think about what is this writing going to look like. Well, the sample that I've chosen is a sample from the American Revolution. Because last year in 4th grade, you wrote books that were very similar to this. So here's an all about book about the American Revolution. And I'm going to show, you're going to get a copy of this document that you can look at throughout this unit to sort of help you. So let's see how this book is organized. Okay, well, they start with the title, All About the American Revolution, and they start with a short introduction. I'm not going to read this whole book to you, but I'm going to read a little bit. I'll read the introduction. Oh, and by the way, this book is not perfect. It's just a draft, okay? It's a good indication or a good example of about what this writing will be like, but it doesn't mean that it's the best that it can be. Okay, introduction. The American Revolution was a very important time in history. It was the time when our country started to become a country. Before the Revolution, we weren't even the United States. If it wasn't for the events leading up to the Revolutionary War, we wouldn't have declared our independence. Here are some of the important events that led up to the Revolutionary War. So we have sort of a quick introduction about the Revolution, and then you'll see that this author started writing about their different subtopics, their sections. So they have section 1 is the Pilgrims arrive. It all started when Pilgrims arrived in America in the 1600s. The first Pilgrims came on a boat called the Mayflower. They settled in the 13 colonies. The Pilgrims were ruled by England and the king, King George III. I'm going to go on to another section. So they have a section on the French and Indian War, and then they have a section, and that's one paragraph. They have a section called Acts and Taxes that talks about what happened after the French and Indian War, and you'll see that that's two different paragraphs in Acts and Taxes. Then they have a section on another subtopic of what happened, the Boston Massacre, and then you'll see another section on the Tea Party, and then they have a final section on the Battle of Lexington and Concord. And you'll see at the bottom of the document that I've included for you a sort of like what this writer did well and what they could use work on. And that's, again, helping us to know what your writing should look like. So let's quickly talk about what they did well. Well, they do have a short introduction that I read to you on the overall topic. What could have been better is that the intro really didn't have a hook. And we're going to teach a lesson on that later. So as you start to draft today and tomorrow, sort of doing a fast and furious draft, don't worry yet so much about a hook. Just try to write a short introduction and then jump right into your sections. And again, that's what this writer did well. The book is divided into sections with a heading for each section. And they get a check. All good for that. So that's one thing you want to make sure as you're drafting today. Do you have sections like you got ready to draft yesterday while organizing? Each section had some dates and places to help the reader orient themselves in time and place. That was something they did well. But since we're always looking to make things better, they could have used some more specific geography. And again, that's a lesson that's going to be coming later this week. The sections, back in the Done Well, the sections follow in chronological order, and they include some cause and effect relationships between events. Remember, history is often one thing leading to another. Well, what could use some work is maybe they could have used a little bit more cause and effect relationships to explain how one event led to another. And again, we'll have a more specific lesson about that later this week. They used some text structure in each section. I noticed that it was written in chronological order, and we already discussed it had cause and effect. But what could they do better? Maybe they could try writing a section more as a problem and a solution structure. And again, we'll talk more specifically about using text structure in a future lesson. It includes some mention that there are two sides to the story, that in history, there's often multiple points of view. And remember last week that some of you might have written about different perspectives, and we talked about how Ms. Mack read about the Native American perspective and the settlers' perspective, and that when we are writing this book, we want to try to be balanced and make sure that the reader sees that there are two sides to the story. So maybe this author, in terms of working on it, could have used more information on how there are multiple points of view. It does have a title and section headings, but maybe, again, going forward, and we'll be teaching some lessons about this, maybe they could have used some more text features, including a map, some photos or captions, bold words, things like that. You're not expected to be doing any of that on your first couple days of drafting. We just want to jump right in and start writing. And finally, one thing that's lacking in that book is it didn't have a conclusion. And again, that will be a lesson that we teach later on. So now you've sort of seen a sample, and you will have access to this sample all about book on the Revolution to sort of help you as you go. Okay, so basically it's time to jump right in. You're going to spend about 45 minutes on drafting today. See how many sections you can write, even if they're not complete. Just get a start, and you might be surprised that when you look back at some of your notes, you already have full paragraphs about things that you took notes on when we asked you to summarize about, let's say, the Erie Canal or something important about the gold rush. So you might be kind of surprised that, hey, you've already done a lot of this writing work. A little note is that you might need to skim some articles or books and take more notes, but just make sure that if you spend more time reading, that you do come back to do more writing. We've done a lot of our reading already, so now we're switching over to focus on our writing. And remember that the shortest articles to read are from ReadWorks, Duxters, and News ELA. And finally, you don't want to copy information, okay? So today, you're going to write fast and furious. You got this. Get going. We can't wait.